This is Jana Manuelpillai for the Noble Sage. Welcome today to the headquarters in Barnet. We hope you're having a good day. It's a bit of a dismal weather kind of day today, so I think we need a pick-me-up. We can't even go out in this rain, I think, so it must be pretty draining for everyone. It's a bit draining for me. But I found a work that hopefully will be intellectually stimulating as well as aesthetically pleasurable to look at, and that's this work here. This piece is by an artist called Ganesh Selvaraj from Chennai in South India, in Tamil Nadu, the state of Tamil Nadu. I met him and bought this work a long while ago, I think 2007 or 8. It's a piece from a series called Puzzle, and it immediately, when I was looking at Ganesh's work, I could feel the kind of the kind of intellectual complexity of the work, and how conceptually he was thinking in ways that other artists in Chennai weren't thinking. He was thinking in a very conceptual way, in a very deep way, about the kind of his relationship with the paper, with the process of art making, and what that might be for the viewer looking at it. And the title, Puzzle, I think is the biggest clue to how to look at this work. If you look, the word puzzle immediately makes us think of two things. Firstly, it's like a verb, to puzzle over something, which really means to leave us feeling perhaps confused, or to make us feel kind of uncertain and trying to work something out. Sorry, that's the doorbell. Okay, so basically a puzzle as a verb is kind of us trying to unwrap a conundrum and make sense of something, make sense perhaps of the world that's in front of us. The second meaning of puzzle is the noun, and that makes us think of things like Rubik's cubes, anagrams, crosswords, Sudoku, things that are happening in a small space in a very orderly way, and that we're trying to decode and make sense of, and trying to unpick, but in a small space. That's kind of important. It's different, say, from a game of sport, a game of football or a game of tennis, which is larger. It's also something that's trying to be conquered, but it's on a grander scale. When we're thinking of puzzles, we're thinking of jigsaw puzzles, crosswords, anagrams, things that we're trying to work out in this small area of space. Now, having said that, let's look at the work. If we look at the work, we have I'm going to bring you closer in a second so you can see this, but you have he's gridded up a piece of paper that is square, and he's gridded it in both directions with pencil mark or with actual graph paper. It's hard to tell. And within that, he has painted individual squares in particular colours. The palette is constrained. He hasn't gone to like all kinds of greens, all kinds of reds. There is, I think, one type of red being used, maybe two, and there are about 3 or maybe 4 types of green, and then there's a black in between, and that's it. And he's chosen each individual line, each individual square to be a certain colour. So in his, if you can imagine him working on this, he would have been attempting this in a very pragmatic, organised way, just like we would do a Sudoku, or just like we would do a crossword puzzle. He is unpicking the colour of each and individual box, and the final effect is a sense of, well, when I look at it, I can only talk about how I look at it, but is a sense of looking at this work. You get a sense of the breaths he took, the blinks he made, the time that passed when he over creating this work. So it stops being, this is why I say it's conceptual, more conceptual. It stops being about the finished work, but becomes more about the experience of unlocking this painting for Ganesh himself as the artist. And also it becomes about our experience trying to make sense of that in the work. So even though it's very abstract, the title is a huge help in giving us an entry as to how to look at this work. Some works like this, they attract me because they're not about enjoying the beauty of it or thinking it's pretty colours. Some works such as this are really about a intellectual journey for the viewer as well as the artist, and that's why I bought this work for the gallery. I hope you enjoy it. It's called Puzzle. It's by Ganesh Selvaraj. I'm going to let you look at this for a few moments, and then I am going to bring you closer so you can take in the detail of the squares on the page. See you tomorrow at 5 o'clock.